The Circle in the Sand, a short story by Simon Cropper. The sun rose slowly over the horizon, casting its golden light across the quiet beach. The air was cool and crisp, carrying with it the faint tang of salt from the receding tide. The wet sand beneath their bare feet was firm and smooth, glistening with the remnants of the morning waves. Two Zen monks, one old and one young, walked in silence along the shore, their robes rustling softly with each step. The young monk, his mind brimming with questions, finally broke the peaceful quiet. "Master," he asked, his voice tentative but curious, "is there life after death? What happens to us when we die? Where do we go?" The old monk paused in his steps, the tip of his wooden walking stick pressing lightly into the damp sand. He closed his eyes and took a deep breath, the sea breeze filling his lungs. Then, without a word, he turned to face the young monk, raised his stick, and began to draw. With deliberate movements, the old monk traced a large circle in the sand, the end of his stick carving through the damp grains, leaving a deep, unbroken line. When the circle was complete, he stepped back and gestured toward it. "Life," the old monk said, "is like this circle in the sand. It begins here." He pointed to a spot on the edge of the circle, "and it ends here." His stick tapped the same spot, completing the loop. Some circles are wide and expansive, others are narrow and small. Some are perfect and smooth, while others are jagged and uneven. But all circles, no matter their shape or size, share the same truth. They are formed and they are touched. The young monk furrowed his brow, his eyes scanning the circle as if trying to decipher its secrets. "But what does it mean, master?" The old monk smiled gently and continued, "As we move through life, like the end of this stick, we touch many things. Each grain of sand in this circle represents something: a person, a relationship, an experience, a moment of love or loss, pain or joy. The circle is our life's path, and every step we take leaves a mark. But just as this circle now sits in the sand, it will not remain forever." The old monk paused, raising his eyes to the horizon. A gentle wave crept forward, its edge licking at the circle he had drawn. Slowly, as if orchestrated by nature itself, the water began to smooth the line, washing away its edges. The young monk watched in silence as the circle faded, its shape dissolving into the grains of sand until it was gone entirely. "When the tide recedes," the old monk said, his voice soft but steady, "the circle disappears. But look closely. The grains of sand are still here. Every single one of them that was touched remains, though they are no longer part of the circle." The young monk gazed down, his eyes wide with understanding. "So even though the circle fades, the impact we make stays behind." "Exactly," the old monk replied. "Our lives may not last forever, but the marks we leave, the people we touch, the love we give, the lessons we share, those remain. They may scatter, but they never vanish." The young monk nodded, his heart swelling with a quiet sense of awe. The sun had risen higher now, casting long shadows behind them as they resumed their walk along the shore, their footprints joining countless others in the endless expanse of sand. And though the circle was gone, its wisdom lingered, carried in the waves and the grains of sand, eternal and unbroken. The Circle in the Sand, a short story by Simon Cropper.